Hi, welcome to this tertulia. This time I'm going to try it in English because I invited Agrippina. She's from Russia, but she lives in Italy. Okay, so we're going to have this tertulia the best that we can in English. Okay, so bear with us and I hope you enjoy it. I'm going to invite her now. Let's see if she's around. Yep. There. She's a younger yoga teacher based in Italy. I really like her practice a lot. She inspired me. So, hi Agrippina, how are you doing?
Hello, guys.
Nice to see you. Let me put this one a bit up. So, we're having some, okay, let's see. Now, here you are.
How are you?
Very fine. Can you hear me properly?
Yes.
Great.
I don't know if.
Let's see.
Okay.
The audio is okay?
I hear you, but
Okay,
this.
me too. Me too. I hear you. Okay. I hope the Wi-Fi and the internet work properly today, but if not, we will walk around. So nice to see you. Finally, we're having this conversation. Really happy to have this chance. I met you long ago in Argentina. Then we have the chance to meet in Italy. So and now we're having this conversation here. So maybe you can do a small introduction for you, for the people that don't know you, about yourself, and then we start our conversation. Yes, we are going to do it in English because Agrippina speaks Russian and a bit of Italian, and I don't speak any of the two. So we found the English like the one that we can use. Yeah.
I'm sorry, I don't speak
No,
Spanish. I wish I
it's
can
okay.
understand, but
No,
I
but you
won't.
know, I was thinking that it's wonderful that we have English because at least we can meet in between. Because if not, this kind of conversation will never happen. So it's okay.
So about myself, I'm Agrippina, and as you wrote in the introduction, I've been doing yoga for many years, and today, swimming in the sea, I thought it's actually been half of my life that I'm on this yoga path. Yes, so I'm a yoga teacher. This is mainly what I do. So I have a lot of other passions. I'm a mother of three kids, and this I haven't realized I am I'm a mother of three kids, but I am. Yes, and I wanted to tell you that I think that this initiative of yours and this project that you've been doing, I think it's really something special and something, a community, this virtual community, the community that we have on Instagram, it needs a lot because, you know, we don't have time. We talk to our students, you know, normally before the class, after the class, if we teach workshop, we have this time. And nowadays in my life, it's really, I have it's at a studio, I have a practice that another teacher comes to practice with me. And this for me is the best day of the week because
Yes.
there is the laboratory, is the space where we share ideas, where we talk about yoga, and we practice together and we watch together. So I'm grateful to you, and I want to compliment on you that you are doing this on Instagram. And it's really, for me, it's an honor to be your guest. And yes, so I think it's very important for the community to talk and to meet and to discuss our life in yoga.
Yes, because that is the reason why I have this initiative. It is to know the people behind the Instagram, behind the practice, how is our life, which are our struggles. we have a family, which things we like to do, and all the things. So that is the idea, to be able to share all this. So tell us, Agrippina, how you came into yoga, or yoga came into your life.
Uh, I think that yoga came to my life. Yes, I didn't come to yoga, and it came not with the first yoga class. Um, Looking back now from the height of the years of practice, um, I I can recall that when I was 19 and I had an accident, I broke a tendon of the feet. I spent 2 months at home, completely changing my life. And I remember me staying in all the yoga poses that I did nothing. I knew nothing about yoga. I was sitting in Pavishta Konasana, Paschimottanasana, Janushirshasana, and all the. Then later I got to know that these are yoga poses, but
Okay.
then I had no idea, because I grew up in Russia, as you told, and in Russia yoga came quite late. That people started doing at the end of 80s, I think, the first yoga teachers, and with the books, and then in 90s it started to develop. And the first yoga teachers we have, I think they started doing yoga late 80s, 90s, so they're not so old. And there I had no idea. I have never even heard. Though I studied, in 19 I wasn't studying Sanskrit yet, so I didn't know what yoga is. But it was there in my body.
Yeah.
After I started practice, and I got this flash. I said, oh, because it was very important 2 months where I decided to not to take only from life, because I was a very avid reader. I am, but I don't have so much time. I was taking a lot, going to the theaters, traveling a lot, and I felt myself as a consumer, and when I had to stop, I thought, now I think it's time to give. I thought of the meaning of the life, and then I decided to be a teacher. I've been teaching history at school when I was 19, 20. That's an example of how physical yoga, like asana yoga, they were inside me. I don't know how, but it's from some intuition that that I had to do something, and it actually worked, because when I came to the physiotherapist after, she told me, we need to do no rehabilitation. I don't know how you did it, but everything is okay. You don't need any massage. You don't need anything. Just
maybe
go and walk.
maybe as they say, you were a yogi in your previous life. Okay, so
know.
you brought the knowledge with you. And
I can tell you also another thing, that when I was even younger, I had this another critical period of life. Somehow, when I think yoga shined on me, through me, or is when I found out, I was in my teenager. I found the first friendships, true friendships, and I had a lot of self-reflection, writing diaries, and trying to understand my emotions, my thoughts, and why my interaction with the outside world. And then I realized certain things about myself, like me being shy, and I think I did. Now I would call it yoga. I did yoga. I overcame. I reflected. I talked about it. I wrote about it, and then I started doing nirodha. I started doing this work on myself in order to reveal what I felt, what true Agrippina is, and this is also something makes me think that it's actually that somehow I never felt, and even now there is no imposition, yoga practice is never imposed, I don't tell myself, of course now I have a discipline, I think I also have not only habit but addiction in a good sense
Yeah, yes.
of the world, so it's easy, but there was no struggling, that I have to work on this path, no, it's just yeah, it was there. And then when I was at the university already, a friend of mine came to me, and she told me I did something that kind of a sport, but not a sport. And this activity there is no competition there. There is no one there is no good and bad, bravo, or everybody is successful. And this might make me think about Bhagavad Gita, like in yoga any effort cannot be lost.
Exactly.
Yes. So, and I got curious, and the same week I went to the class with her, and there started my path in Iyengar yoga. I was completely in love with these classes because of the state that I experienced after the class. It was a traditional yoga class. I'm sorry not to go to. I'm sorry that I haven't went to the. I haven't gone to the beginner class.
Okay.
I went directly level 2 classes. And I remember the studio was in the heart of Moscow, and I remember going out of this small studio, white, and nobody talked. It was a very nice atmosphere, and it was completely different state of mind.
But what it is about yoga Iyengar that actually got your attention and I say, okay, this is what I want to do? Which aspect of the Iyengar yoga?
This what I'm saying, because there I was I didn't know yoga before, no other type of yoga. I think that the sequence of the asanas was so well made, not only to educate the physical body, but also to have an influence on the nervous system. That the fact that we do Sarvangasana at the end, or Setubandha Sarvangasana and Shavasana, the fact that all the sequence is built up so logically, so beautifully.
Yes.
Then I think this state of, I can say it was a euphoric state that I've never experienced before. This lightness, I felt enlightened. I can say. And it was not, I didn't have much time at that moment of life. Every time I had time, I would run to the studio. And then when I finally got my degree, I graduated the university, I had time, I moved to Italy. Then I asked myself, what do you want to do?
Yeah.
I had no doubts. I wanted to do yoga. And then I started really practicing every day. And then since then, yoga never left my life.
That is so nice, because like for me, I started yoga with Ashtanga Vinyasa.
Okay.
And what really got my attention on Iyengar is that in Iyengar I have like kind of I was able to understand the asanas from different angles, different perspectives, and like kind of was very logical, and nothing seems impossible because there is always a variation, a way of actually being able to get into the asana and get the feeling, no, thanks to the props or the variation or whatever. So for me, it was like each asana became a case study. Okay, but it is coming from a vinyasa or on flowing, which I really like the physical aspect of yoga too, and also when the yoga is challenging. What I like about Iyengar yoga was the methodology, okay, and the structure and the sequence and all the logic that is behind all the practice of asana.
Yeah. Then, I thought a lot about what I told you before, what a friend of mine told me as a definition of what she does,
Yeah.
that she did. There is no competition. It was really at that studio. I not nobody watched. It was like kind of even a bad manner, to if you watch the other, what is he doing, Everybody stayed calmly on his own mat, and it was thanks also to the practitioners, not only to the teacher or who created the studio. It was also this how do you say, the atmosphere of introspection that would, you would easily go into observation of step by step, the slow studying. Yeah.
So from the thing that I see that you post and share in your Instagram stories or post, okay, you like you're practicing a lot. You have a beautiful practice, and I'm seeing that you are doing you are learning now Adho Mukha Vrikshasana without the wall. But yeah, it's a trip that also I am there, looking forward to it. So, but what about the practice, the personal practice? How you actually face it, or how you organize it, or it? Okay, how is your practice, your personal practice?
And my personal practice changed a lot, through years, and I start from the far. I've learned to do the practice. I think that very important thing about the practice is to have ekagrata, this quality of being focused
Mm?
on one goal,
Mm.
And I've learned in years to define this goal, that I would practice. So every time I would sit on the mat, I would decide what I do. Um, and before, it would be like we had days. Okay, we had standing poses day. Then Monday is a standing poses day. Tuesday is again standing poses balancing. Wednesday is the back bends and so on. So it was like a group of asanas that we would do regularly at Gabriella's studio. We would practice them, and focusing on, I don't know, hip opening or the shoulder opening, or I don't know, the movement of of the pelvis and so on. Now, then with life in the person, because for me the practice was there at the studio with other people. Then the personal practice was always I still now I start from listening to myself of what do I need, what do I need today. And at the beginning, the first years, I had this kind of a game with myself, that after the practice, I would go out of the studio. I would ask myself, how many percent of presence you were there on the mat? And then whether I let the thought, whether I could maintain this ekagra. So, and now I went a little bit to the side, and now I practice from what I need every day, So now, for example, I feel that my shoulders are not so stable because I haven't been. I was working. I had to finish the classes at the studio, and my children were here in the south of Italy, and I was not breastfeeding. Okay, and now I came back. I thought I finished, but this little boy wants still his mother. He needs his mother, so
Yeah.
I started again, and he doesn't let me go. So, and these days I feel that carrying him all the time, or sleeping with him and breastfeeding him compromises. I don't feel pain, but I feel that I need some support, for the shoulders. So I do all the things that strengthen. I did this morning that strengthen the shoulders. So different kind of chaturangas and a lot of. Yesterday I did a lot of more, movements with the shoulder blades and so. So this is the principle that, and I also teach my students. I tell them that you come, you listen to yourself, and then you ask, what do you need? But you need to have a certain level of or a habit of listening to yourself. I think to build a practice this way, you know, you need to get used to be present on the mat in order to be able then to understand, because it's not easy, because we are always, you know, with the things, with the family and work and all the stuff that is running this whirling around.
Yeah, but yeah, you are right. Because something that I tell my students, it is that's the thing, it is to listen to yourself and what you need, and for whatever you are saying, I totally agree. You are kind of focusing your personal yoga practice in actually your needs and how life is taking you at the moment. So it is, you are breastfeeding, you have small children, so you need to adapt your practice actually to make the most of you, okay, to have a healthy body and something that can carry with the life that you have. And many times we are taught like to follow what others say and not to question. And I like that scene of, yes, I go to classes, I have my teacher, but then in my personal practice, it is what do I need, okay, and how I'm feeling about it, and also act like discriminate. No, it is good for me, or maybe it's not good for me, so I take it or I don't take it. So that is very important. Yes.
And the new feature now, I can say, I started touching it now, because if before it was more in the sequence or the practice, I would build around the action, okay, in the body, or about the need, if I need to recover from something, and if I need to rest, or if I need to stabilize. Now I started working on the qualities, you know, because learning handstand made me understand, also exposing myself to the other worlds and other disciplines. I understand that there's not one rhythm, for example, you know, that we can practice asana. And I'm not talking about vinyasa or non-vinyasa or just aesthetic holding of the poses, but for example, sometimes we need to be very quick, you know, we need to, and it's an ability that we need to exercise. You cannot think when you have to jump, or you have to, you know, jump and coordinate something. You can learn some action at the beginning slowly, and then you can start applying, you can start working on different qualities, or about, that's what, for example, Instagram inspires me, and I do it. One of the reasons, because I think there is a beauty about yoga, a lot of beauty, you know, and wanting to have the movement that is smooth, that is elegant, that is without effort. It also, I mean, I sometimes I build a practice. I want just a smooth movement. I want entering the pose, being conscious, and going out of the pose without, you know, this, how do you say, something that shakes or something that, so, and it's something that inspires me, something that I tell to myself for the future. So not to build the practice around some certain group of asanas or about some actions in the body, but to cultivate some qualities, okay, that can be a plasticity, that can be the velocity, that can be stability. It's also, you know, the work on the stability is, I think, it's a very beautiful work when you start removing. Yeah.
Yeah, my experience is we have all that in the Iyengar method. Okay, yes, but sometimes depending of who is teaching. Okay, there are teachers that are more focused on technicality, on staying in the asana, and actually breaking down like to 1,000 pieces Utthita Trikonasana. Okay, and that is the way of teaching. But actually, sometimes it's a confusion that to think that Iyengar yoga is always static or you're always using props. No, it is also dynamic, and you have vinyasa, and you flow, and sometimes you go slow, and sometimes you study, and sometimes you just don't study and just practice. And when we go to India, I think one of the good things of going to Pune is that you see the diversity without interpretation of the way that asanas are practiced, or pranayama, or the philosophy. Because sometimes in the Western, or when we are not in India, we get the interpretation of the people that go there, that okay, it's with their best interest, and by sure it is the way that they feel it, how they live it that month. But actually, what I love about Pune was that for me open a big spectrum of different ways of practicing. Okay, you saw how the beginners are practicing upstairs. That is like, wow, that look like crazy because they're doing this on that, jumping this on that, and they're not actually staying in Utthita Trikonasana learning about it, which makes sense because if someone is just starting to move and getting a relationship with the body, you cannot understand about the calf muscle or the quadriceps and this or that. So it depends a lot of who is the how you say the one that is transmitting the method. Okay, but because Iyengar has all that you are saying, and actually I
Yeah.
love the diversity
Now
about
I'm
it,
having fun,
but it's up to us to show it.
Yes, yes. And that's why I think it's now I've been last week, I've been watching all the demonstrations of Iyengar
Yes.
in 80s. It's wow. And also the old video when he's there in Pune, and makes everybody jump, and how he combines, and what kind of vinyasa he does, and like everybody goes from incredible poses to chaturanga and to this and that. It's wow. I said, wow, okay, so far. I felt so far. I want to have this openness of the mind. Because I think that this creativity and this different. I like to think about rhythm. Because I love
Yes.
music a lot, and often I have. I tell to my students, I give them the rhythm that they do. They do asana, for example, ta 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 ta, and it's yes, it's a lot. It requires a lot of mind opening, I think.
Opening your mind and trusting in oneself, because if someone has a deep personal practice and you are studying and you have good teachers, then it's actually to be creative and trust yourself. Like me, I like to teach that kind of practice where it's dynamic and it's strong, and especially now that I'm growing. Okay, no, I don't like to say old, but well, I'm growing, and I know that we need to keep strong and fit, but not about fashion or because looking beautiful. It is because you actually have a better way of growing old. Okay, when you are strong and you have muscle and you can still have a good mobility. So having a dynamic practice is very important. Plus it is, I think, for the self-esteem, for the way of how you feel about yourself. Okay, depending of the person, no, but for me it is actually very inspiring, and I feel powerful. I also sometimes like to stay for a long time in an asana and feel it and see how it is. But movement is important, and it's something that we should bring back because sometimes we only see static asanas or static practice. I'm not
But
saying that
I
everybody is like
wanted
that.
to
It's what
ask
we
you.
see.
So, what do you feel after 20 minutes, 40 minutes of Shirshasana? 40 minutes you do
Yes,
Shirshasana?
I'm doing 40. Yes, I'm doing 40. I do it at least once a week, the 40. If not, I'm doing 30 minutes every day. Amazing. It's like I feel like I'm in the Himalayas and I'm going to my cave. So I really feel amazing. The last 10 minutes are the most challenging, the physical aspect. The mental, what I'm finding it is that actually I'm being able to calm my mind, the fluctuation of the mind, chitti, vritti, nirodha, in that long stay of Shirshasana, which I built in a long time. No, it's not that one day I decided, okay, I'm going up for 40 and 40 was this. No, I've been building it for like 2 years now. Now I'm comfortable. But I love it because actually it has enriched my life in all the other aspects. Like I like running, and when I'm exhausted, I know I can run a bit more because I'm saying it's like this is like the Shirshasana. Okay, I have learned to listen to myself and check how I'm feeling. Like you start to feel if you are having more pressure in one eye or not. You are tense. There is a lot of things that you discover when you stay in an asana. Okay, a lot. It is like, it's an amazing experience. Someone that I really recommend. Not that you go for 40 minutes and one at once in any asana, but start with, like, I was thinking today, I did 120 days of Supta Virasana, which was actually an asana that for me was very challenging. And if I stop doing it for a while, it because I have very tight legs. The changes that brought me that practice of 120 days of consecutive Supta Shirshasana for 10 minutes, actually, I learned to stay in the discomfort. I wasn't comfortable. I wanted to run away, and actually being able to stay there, check myself, checking the nature of my mind, how it is started to complain or wanted to do this or started to having pains. And I learned a lot about my gluteus, about my legs, and about the thing. And also, like at that time, I was like drinking alcohol like every night, okay, because of my previous life. And I started to see that, analyzing why I'm drinking, okay, and I saw that was bringing comfort to my life. It is when at the end of the day, I wanted to, it is like my happy moment. And I say, with Supta Shirshasana, I really have, no, Supta Virasana, I have the chance to check all that. And actually, like, I'm being 1 year alcohol free. No, it's not that I was a drunk, I wasn't an alcoholic, but almost close, because if you are drinking every day, whatever we like it or not, we do it. And actually, like, I've been a year now, and I'm feeling so amazed, and all the changes that have come to me because of that, being ready to live with, how you say, when things are not easy, to learn to stay. Because we are, when we don't like a situation, we don't like something, we try to avoid it and run away from it. And rarely you stay and see what happened here, why I'm acting like this, why I'm doing this or that. And for me, it was wonderful. I really recommend to anyone, no Supta Virasana, choose anything that actually you are not comfortable and say, I'm going for it. And be there, be present, okay? Because it is every day, no matter what, you do it. Okay, so now I started a new Sadasana today, but okay,
Which
I
one?
don't want to talk about me.
What did you start?
I started a new sadhana today. I wake up at 5 in the morning to do 30 minutes Shirshasana, 40 minutes Sarvangasana, 10 minutes Supta Virasana, and 40 minutes meditation. That before starting the day. So I will tell you in 21 days, because, okay, my goal is 21 days, and then from there I will see. You?
No, now my goal is to do, yes, you told about Adho Mukha Vrikshasana. I want to stay for longer than 30 seconds in Adho Mukha Vrikshasana. Yes, because I always arrive to 23, 25 now, but there is something, and I know that is a mental thing,
Yes.
not a physical thing, and it's so this is my goal. I don't know when I reach it, but I really love this goal.
But you are saying balancing in the middle of the 30, more than
Of
30
course,
seconds without the wall.
no,
Yes.
it's only in the middle. Now, last year I've been, you know, I put it as a goal, and it was I felt a lot of liberation from this practice, because I overcame a lot of fears
Yes.
that, they are latent, they are there inside me, but unless you go and meet them, you don't know they are there. And this practice, still every time I do the session about handstands, it offers me a lot of digging, digging inside my mind, inside my body.
Yes.
And a lot of crying as well. I remember then when I teach it, he put a mat between the wall and just leaving just this distance, and said, now you're going to do the wheel, in between the wall and this mat. And I started crying, said, come on, you can do it. No, I cannot go to this tunnel, I cannot. And because I never did the cartwheels, and now I'm doing the cartwheels, I'm falling from everywhere, I am doing it everywhere, and in the beach, people watching, not watching, it's ridiculous. I felt, I am happy that this year I got to the state where I can say I have no fear to put my hands. Now you ask me, I put my hands in the middle of the room and I go upside down. I can't, I fix the pose, I don't fix the pose. Now I've learned to fix, I think. But it's really, and I love these challenges that are like you are removing the clothes, from what you don't know, that what is there inside, but you start poof, 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 and you find out so much stuff, really. Yeah.
Really, really. So tell me, Agrippina, why you wanted to be a yoga teacher?
um, why did I want to be a yoga teacher? I told you already that I decided when I was 19, I
Yes.
decided that I cannot take, I cannot only take from, from life, from whatever is around me. I really felt the necessity, the need to give. And when back then I was defining for myself what is the meaning of life, I told myself it's in sharing. When I was
Okay.
a teenager, I felt it was very strong thought that came to me. So maybe then, starting teaching children at school, I felt myself that this a vocation, this is what I came here for. I feel myself comfortable in this role, and I think that's what I am, what I'm born for, I'm born
Right.
for being a teacher. Sometimes I would I would protest, with my partner, saying, "No, I'm a yoga teacher. I'm a teacher elsewhere, but I'm home. I want to be. I don't want to be a yoga teacher." Oh, But this is what I am, I think.
Yeah, tell
But
me one thing, because also when I met you in Argentina, the thing that really captured me was that I remember it, or you have a degree, or you, okay, in Sanskrit. And for me, Sanskrit until that time was Chinese, and I wasn't really interested about all that. But the way that you presented it, I actually captured my interest and all that, and I said, maybe I want to explore around this area. I never did it, but anyway, at that time, actually I got curious. But
So
now,
the story.
what I wanted to ask you about the Sanskrit and how you relate it to the yoga practice in terms of asana
Okay.
or other
So
aspects.
the Sanskrit it was very strange that it came before yoga, before like yoga classes, Iyengar yoga classes to my life, because I've been I grew up in Vladivostok, which is in the very east of Russia, on the seaside, in front of Japan, you know. And I studied there in Japanese school, so I've been studying Japanese. And when I came to the university, I wanted to continue studying Japanese, but there was no Japanese. There was this Sanskrit thing, very strange. And I remember the first year we could not pronounce all these names of the authors, of the heroes of Mahabharata and Ramayana, all this Yudhishthira, Dhritarashtra, and I said, wow, what are we doing here, you know? And then we were a small group. At the end of the first year we were only 3, then another girl came, so we were 4 studying. And I fell in love with language, with Indian culture, and with Indian culture I started going to India when I was 21. I with our professor, with our Sanskrit professor, we went to India. It's one of the most beautiful memories, though there were a lot of incidents about, you know, digestion and all this stuff, but it was wow, mind-blowing. And
the knowledge of Sanskrit with the practice of yoga, how you connect them.
And this I wanted to connect them because I've been studying Sanskrit. I came to this yoga studio in Moscow, and I saw Sanskrit. I started reading Yogena Chittasya Padena Vacham. I said, wow, they are so here. They are so because nowhere in Moscow, you know, I could see Sanskrit written, and I could understand everything I was reading. You know. It's also something that that how to say, open up another my predisposition to yoga. And I actually then when I graduated, I started teaching Sanskrit, and I've been teaching it since the graduation, since 2008 until today. I have an online group, and I teach Sanskrit. And actually, I think I teach Sanskrit in order to keep reading in Sanskrit. This is something that is for nowadays for me. You know, mostly teaching yoga. I love reading, and for me, reading texts in Sanskrit, it has a special pleasure. I like to take some shloka or a new text and to see there, not to understand anything, not to connect, and then trying to make this effort in order to get the thought. And yes, I've been, since my yoga practice started, I've been reading yoga texts mostly. And also when I teach now, my teaching, I think it has changed a lot through years because the practice has changed and the understanding of yoga has changed. So now this last scholastic year with the online group, I asked them, you know, I always ask them, what do you want to read? Because I think that as it's a very difficult language, you need to be motivated. You need to have some base, some support, you know, in order to study Sanskrit. They told me we want to do the third pada. We want to do the third pada of Yoga Sutra. I said, okay.
The Yoga Sutras,
so,
yes.
Yeah, and at the beginning of the class, we take 4 sutras, and then we read them, we chant them, and then I translate. And I asked them before they went to vacation. On vacation, I asked them, I want some, like you do now with me, I want some sharing. Come on, we are all yoga teachers. Let's have some kind of a discussion. And they said, but we don't have a background for that. honestly, for Yoga Sutra, I think that you need to have a practicing background, because there is a lot. This is a text that I love, and I always come back. I always come back to the Vyasa, or now they say it's actually Patanjali who wrote Vyasa commentary, because it's something that is, I consider yoga to be universal. Uh,
Yes.
and I think there is a lot of universal things said in Yoga Sutra, starting from the Sutra number 1 in the Vyasa commentary. I talk to my students about this Chitta Bhumi, that the ground of the mind, how our mind can be these 5 modalities that Vyasa mentions. And I always bring Yoga Sutras or Bhagavad Gita or other Hatha Yoga texts that I read for my pleasure, actually, now,
Yeah, but
because I don't have
in
any academic inspiration.
yeah,
I don't want to be a professor or what, but I think it's something of a great support also to the practitioner.
yeah, but as you're saying, the practitioner of yoga also, no? Before starting the class, you read a yoga sutra and then connect it with the practice of the day, so they can reflect while practicing, or
No, this I don't do. But sometimes when in the class, there is something that I explain, or I don't prepare this. But if and also you asked me how you came to be a yoga teacher, and I told you it's about sharing, that I want to share. And for me, yoga teaching and the yoga class, it's such a wonderful atmosphere for sharing. So whatever, if I have some thoughts, or if I read some book, or in Sanskrit, or whatever, I cannot not share, this. But
yes,
I don't have this, how do you say, because every class has a structure. Now been 2 years that I put to every class pranayama at the end. Now we do at the end. And sometimes when students ask me, I also do some chanting, because I've been studying with Samgita, that is a teacher from KYM. And I've been studying for a year and a half approximately, chanting. So sometimes I
yeah,
chant Shanti mantra to them if they ask me, because
yeah. But let me interrupt you a minute, because I want to go to the point that I want to make, because sometimes when I'm reading, I'm not really okay. I'm reading a lot of things. Sometimes I get the Yoga Sutras, and sometimes for example, you are teaching a class, you are talking about the what you should be feeling, or how it is your body changing, and then I relate it to a sutra, and I get the sutra and read to them, and I say, okay, this sutra is talking about this on that. So how we can relate it to the practice that you're having now, that it may look physical from the outside, but from the one that is actually having the practice, it is actually a trip that it is being taken by the body, the mind, and the self. And actually, I find myself that I can, like, I have the word embody a yoga sutra in a practice of asana, or in an asana, or in a meditation, and I can reflect on that. So, I was asking if you do that or not, but you are telling me that you do it separate. But you should include it, because you know a lot about the. Okay, that is my suggestion, no? That will be
uh,
great.
you know when I like last workshop I did, and there was a student who asked me to do some chanting. So now I'm not talking about Yoga Sutra, but he told
Chanting.
do some. Yes, it's a Upanishadic, the book Mantra Mala that you have from KYM. It's all the mantras from Upanishad, and I did with pleasure, because something that I love. And then I talked, when we came back to Florence, I talked to the other students, because they asked me the meaning, and I translated what I was chanting, something approximately, something literally. I just told them, and not everybody is ready, I think that this kind of sphere, uh, we first we need courage also there to enter, because it's yes, we said that it's universal. You know, the Yoga Sutra are universal, but now talking about, for example, for mantras, about mantras, this they are inside a certain tradition, and we are not all belong to this tradition, or we are not all feeling. Some people like it, but there are people that you know, they are getting alert. And this I appreciate that a student of mine told me, said what is, no, she didn't mind, but it was, for her it was something different from the yoga practice. And actually I think that we have to be, for me, number one, not mantra, but what a kind of a compass, you know, how do you say, bussola,
Yeah, could be.
that I orientate myself with always is satya. Is you know, it's what Gabriela told us. You teach only what you practice, okay?
Yes.
Then you say only what you. It's not, because if, for example, if you create a structure for the class and you start with invocation, and then you do the sequence that you think of, and then you finish with pranayama, and I lost the thought. And then if you put this
The Yoga Sutra.
Yoga Sutra, you know, for me today, it wouldn't be so organic in the class. Yes, I know, but you know, I'm not. I think that we don't have to share all we know, but we have to share what we feel now is appropriate for the student, is appropriate for you, but appropriate for the students. So my answer to you is, I don't feel nowadays is something that my students are looking for.
Okay.
I want to go deeper, for example, in pranayama, for sure. That's what I have in my mind for the next year. And I have an example of a teacher here in Puglia, and that she will finish every yoga class with the reading of Iyengar, Light on Yoga Sutra. And when I spent before, I used to spend 1 month or 2 months here in Puglia, and I would go to her classes. She would ask me to read, sometimes from this. It was a nice. I cannot say I didn't like it. I loved it. It was a nice way to finish the class. You know, to get some somebody but it was not so logically entwined, you know, into the class. It's not because you're saying, if you think, if you teach something and then you think that this sutra is appropriate, then you can stop.
Yes, that is what I was saying. Yes, no, not any sutra.
Like at the end of every class, I loved it. But I don't know. I don't feel like it's something that would. Maybe I'm wrong. You know, maybe it's my fear.
No, I don't think there is right or wrong. It is someone has to go, as you say, Satya. Someone has to be honest and do what it's feeling, and also because you have your students, you know what they are looking for, you know how you are teaching. I was just asking because okay, sometimes I do relate the practice with the sutras, but because it's actually connected, and I read, and also because when I like to talk about something like, let's say, why we practice yoga, okay? We can practice yoga for many different reasons, and they are all great. Even if you come to have the perfect body for the bikini at summer, I say come. Okay, if that is what it is, your goal is to have the perfect body for the summer, it's fine. Okay, who are us to charge? Why are you coming to yoga? But once I have the students here, I want to show them like other aspects of the moral beyond the asana. That is the like we talk about calming the fluctuation of the mind. What is that? okay? And while through an asana or an Adho Mukha and all that, you are actually calming the fluctuation of the mind. And while we focus on that, and that is beyond any religion or any belief that you have. Doesn't matter if you're Hindu, Muslim, Christian, or whatever it is, or you don't believe in anything. It is actually, we all have a mind, we all have a body, we all have feelings. Okay, and I find like kind of the Yoga Sutras like universal, applicable to everyone. But that is my feeling. But it's not right or wrong. I think we should be organic
But
with our
yoga
practice and with our students.
classes, because of course my students know Sthiram Sukhamasana, Heyam Dukhamanaгаtam, and Chittavritti Nirodha, and I hope because I mentioned them, when it's something you have to illustrate something, of course I would bring them up, but it's not something that I do on the regular basis. Yes.
Okay, so almost an hour has passed, so let's do a no, that is great. How let's do like what do you think is the purpose of life?
Wow.
Just to finish like that.
The purpose of life.
For you.
So if we stay within, the conversation that we had, is for me is to get connected to a true you. That is really, I think it's a hard job, because a student of mine after pranayama session, we had this small intensive, the 3-hour class, and and I was telling them that I don't understand why I tell you this, and I have this instruction that I give, but I see people moving in and then and there, and I opened this big discussion, because I felt that there were a few people that were actually following, me, and I got perplexed, because you are so good at following instruction in the asana class, and then I see you moving hands. I ask you just do the simple thing, to observe the diaphragm that goes, and so and so, and then the student genius, she said, then in pranayama we actually need a true us, and it's not, sometimes it's not really sometimes it's a terrifying picture.
Yes.
You are not always glad, she said, you're not always glad to meet this true you that shines. So so I think that the purpose that I give myself is to discover this true me, to discover the potential that I think we all have, and I want to go to the end. I'm a believer on the human potential, and that's why maybe also I teach yoga, because in every student I see a lot of seeds that can grow, and in this I want to water, all the seeds that are there in me, that are maybe now latent, maybe sleeping, maybe growing small, and I want to cultivate this true me first, and then I want in my small world, to multiply happiness, because
Nice.
if you
That's
ask
a
me why,
great purpose, yeah. Wait,
people they are silent, they are calm, and there is something else that is not explicable, that is going through them. So these are the moments that I cherish, and I want them to last longer for everyone. Yes, so I can say in a big part of my life I've already succeeded, because I feel myself very lucky that I'm in this place and I do what I do. And I also I'm lucky to have people around me that share the same views, and I created this space where we can share, we can be ourselves, we can have no fear of being ourselves, and to cry if somebody wants to cry, and yeah,
Nice,
of course I
beautiful.
I haven't
Nice,
said
yeah. No, but it's a
because
lot.
I
Yeah, it's beautiful. Yeah,
no, of course
I agree.
I have a purpose as a mother. I want my children, and I want to see them grow. I want them also to be happy, and and I think what is the purpose is to multiply love.
Yes, yes. And
I'm
especially this time. Yes, I totally agree.
I'm reading this started yesterday. Finished one book, and I started another book about Harry Harlow, who studied a scientist who studied the monkeys, and it's a journalist who is writing about his life. And she started the book saying that it's love that counts. This is the thought of the scientist, because he saw, he did a lot of experiments. And why I started reading this book, because I read Sapolsky now about stress, this famous book about stress. And we don't have time now. We have to finish. No, we can speak.
No, no, finish. Yeah, okay. Finish the idea. Yes.
Yes. Okay. So this, because about the books I can talk a lot.
No, long time, no, because we're on the time, but okay.
So anyway, he says that love is the big. It's there at the beginning of life of every person.
Yes.
And, if we have to learn love before we have to learn how to live, and that's why also it's a part of my path in this earth, being mother. And I cannot say struggled, but I did really my best to have the best delivery with the last son, because I understand how important it is, how we come
Yes.
to life, because without this love that we transmit, that actually the nature helps us to 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 accompany, to make this love bloom. I think it conditions a lot the life of human being. Something that if we don't have love at the beginning of our life, it's really, I have a lot of students that are psychologists. It's hard to repair. It's unrepairable, So yes, this is what I really want to. I try to do with my students, with my children, and yes, this is my aspiration for life.
Yeah, and also I like. I totally agree with what you are sharing, but I guess my purpose now it is at the end of the day to reflect if I have managed to make someone smile or to make someone feel better about himself or herself. Uh, Not always manage because I have my way of being and work in progress. Okay, so I have my ramps. I have my ramps, so sometimes I mess up the other way. But I really try to be more aware, more present, and seeing, observing the way that I'm relating to others, and see it is not that I want to become a clown and make everybody happy, but okay, what can I do? How can I be that actually that person feel good about herself or himself. And it is, yeah, but it start with one, okay? If you're not feeling good, that doesn't cannot come out. But okay, yoga, teaching yoga is a great way, or and then taking yoga to all the aspect of your life, okay? How we relate with others, and even this thing of sharing yoga, you from Italy and from here, and be honest and open, and maybe we inspire someone, or maybe someone feel good about herself because she or himself because she's doing something that okay is feeling happy about it, then mission accomplished. Okay, we are here for a reason. So it was actually so great talking to you. Okay, we have been an hour, it's flying away. And actually, so happy. I don't know if you want to say something else before we say goodbye, or but it was actually a pleasure.
A lot of things to talk about. I feel that we just started, you know.
So this is the beginning. We should share more. We should share more about yoga and our life and everything.
Keep doing this. I think that's really something that opens people's mind. I was a little bit, I wrote you that I was a little bit shaking, but then you are a wonderful person that everything flows, you know.
I'm feeling great. And I'm very happy that actually I'm doing it. I'm getting close to people and sharing all this. Actually, I'm happy that I'm doing it. I feel thankful for it.
Happy. Nice. Very nice.
Thank you very much, Agrippina. We will keep in touch. Please keep sharing your wonderful practice and your wonderful life.
All the planks that you do.
Okay, take care.
Bye.
Ciao, ciao.
Bye, Gabi.
Bye, bye.
Much.
Ciao.